Alright, what's up, guys? It's HJ here, Hector, again. Um, about 2 weeks ago, I made a video with my co-host Brandon about our top 10 list of 2012, and I started thinking about my list, and I messed up royally on that list. It was a mess. So, if you guys will allow me, I'm about to do a revised top 10 list of 2012. Brandon will not be joining me today. This is just a personal video. But here we go. Without any further ado, let's get into it. At number 10, I have Beasts of the Southern Wild. Now, Beasts of the Southern Wild, I remember it came out like early last year. And this movie blew me away based on the fact that it was only made for about $1 million. Now, if you don't know that much about film budgets, nowadays, like a cheap Hollywood movie will cost you around like 60 mil, somewhere around there. And this movie was made for like $1 million, and the cinematography was beautiful. The little girl Kavanjane Wallace, who played Hush Puppy, she is incredible. I was happy to see that she was nominated for a Best Actress for the Oscars this year, and Ben Zeitlin, the director, he's nominated too, and the movie's even nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. So it's cool to see a small movie like that actually get recognized by the Academy. At number 9, I have Seven Psychopaths. It's a Martin McDonough movie. He made this. The other movie that I enjoyed from him was In Bruges, also with Colin Farrell. And Seven Psychopaths is a really, really funny movie. It's a dark comedy type of thing, where it's like, they make jokes off of messed up things. Like, in Family Guy, when they make up jokes about people that are handicapped or stuff like that. This is basically that. That's what dark comedy is, and Seven Psychopaths is full of it. Sam Rockwell was awesome in the movie. Christopher Walken, nice to see him back. Woody Harrelson was hilarious. Colin Farrell did his thing, and it was an all-around great movie, and I loved it. And it was really, really funny. It's a very, very funny movie, but it's pretty bloody, like Quentin Tarantino bloody. So be prepared for that. At number 8, I have the Disney animated, not Pixar. Don't get confused. It's not a Pixar movie. It's Disney. It's just Disney, not Pixar. Wreck-It Ralph, with John C. Reilly, and it's such a great movie. It's heartwarming. It's touching. It has so much heart to it, and it has these video game references that if you're a gamer, you'll get. If you're not a gamer, then you might not appreciate it as much, but you'll still laugh. If you know, to know what they're talking about, then you should probably be like a retro gamer. There's not really that many throws at recent games. This one has like throwbacks to Mario Kart, and they have some references of House of the Dead and stuff like that, and it's very well voice acted, very well animated. I loved it from start to finish, and that's why Wreck-It Ralph is at number 8. At number 7, I have the Wes Anderson I call it a masterpiece, Moonrise Kingdom. Now, Moonrise Kingdom is essentially a story of young love, and the cinematography is just beautiful. The colors, the vibrant colors, and it's funny, it's heartwarming, and it captures the essence of adolescent love. And it was so beautiful, and it had more romanticism than any romantic schmantic movie that came out this year. And I hate that Moonrise Kingdom and Wes Anderson's movies are thrown away as hipster trash, because it's not hipster trash. They're really well made movies, and I'm glad to see that it got recognized at the Academy for Best Original Screenplay, and that's really cool. So yeah, Moonrise Kingdom was great. Bill Murray, Bruce Willis, Edward Norton, they were all great in the movie. The two kids were great. Yeah, that's my number 7. At number 6, I have End of Watch, which is the Jake Gyllenhaal, Michael Pena cop thriller drama. This is one of the best movies that I've seen this year, without a doubt. It's so raw and realistic in the portrayal of Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Peña's friendship, and it was such a beautiful movie. And you don't connect to the characters. You don't just connect to them. You don't feel for them. You fall in love with these characters because they're so well developed, and you can see that their bond goes much more from partner and co-worker. It's not that. And more than friendship, it's a brotherhood, and it's so beautiful. And the performances they gave, I'm mad that Michael Peña didn't get nominated. This is another snub that I'm mad about, besides John Hawkes in the Session. And Jake Gyllenhaal, they're portrayal. They're just realistic cops. You could, if you didn't know that Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Peña were in this movie, if they were like unknown, you would honestly think that they were cops because their portrayal is so realistic. But I'm not a cop to authorize that, but that's what it seems to me. All right. Coming in at number 5, I have Looper, the Rian Johnson directed and written film with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis, and it's hands down one of the best sci-fi movies I have seen in a while. The only sci-fi movie that I actually cared about this much was Inception, and man, that was a trip. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in it too. But Looper is well acted, well directed. It's well paced. There's a midsection where it slows down like a lot, but it keeps you invested in these characters. There's people say that Joseph Gordon-Levitt is the bad guy of the movie or Bruce Willis is the bad guy. They're not bad guys. It's sort of like the characters in Quentin Tarantino movies. There's not one good guy. There's just people trying to get what they want, whichever means necessary. And I found Looper captivating. It was beautiful. You should check it out, definitely, if you haven't seen it. That's my number 5. My number 4 pick is Safety Not Guaranteed. Now, Safety Not Guaranteed was a lot lower in my original top 10 list, but I loved Safety Not Guaranteed. It's such a beautiful movie. It's a time travel romance movie, and not The Time Traveler's Wife. The Time Traveler's Wife stinked. So don't think that Safety Not Guaranteed is like The Time Traveler's Wife. It's not that. It's not some crappy Nicholas Sparks movie. It's not that. Safety Not Guaranteed is a beautiful indie movie that I feel should have gotten more people to have seen it. So if you haven't seen it, watch it. Go online, look it up. It's a beautiful movie. Go to Best Buy or rent it on iTunes. Whatever you have to do, watch this movie, and I bet you will fall in love with it. At number 3, I have David O. Russell's Silver Lining Playbook. Silver Linings Playbook is an incredible movie. The reason I love this movie as much as I did is the same reason why I loved End of Watch. I connected with the characters. Bradley Cooper was amazing. Robert De Niro. I've never cried in a Robert De Niro movie. He can die, whatever. I never cry, but he made me cry in this movie. And the whole breakdown scene at the dinner. And then Jennifer Lawrence was amazing. I honestly think she should win the Oscar, but everybody knows that the Academy is going to go with Jessica Chastain, which isn't a bad thing. Jessica Chastain was great. She was awesome in the movie. But I think Jennifer Lawrence should get it, but I guess we'll just have to see what happens. Coming in at number 2, we have Ben Affleck's Argo. Now, Argo was, when I saw it, the best movie I had seen all year. I was like, hands down, this is going on at my number 1. This is the best movie. I've never been as tense as I have been for this movie. And Argo is the first movie that I only saw the first trailer for it, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna watch any clips, no featurettes, no interviews, nothing, because they tend to give away a lot. And I didn't look up the story. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go into this movie blind. I know it's gonna be great. I trust Ben Affleck, and I trusted him, and he came through for me. And this movie had me intense. It had me grabbing onto my theater seat for the entire last hour of it. And if a movie can do that to me, you know, hands down, you know, the second, and I'm so glad that it got recognition at the Golden Globes. Ben Affleck won Best Director, and the movie won Best Picture. I'm annoyed at the Academy that they snubbed him for an Oscar for Best Director, but, you know, I mean, I guess there's nothing that we can do now. It was a great movie. Now, coming in at number 1, same one as last time, Django Unchained. Quentin Tarantino's best movie to date, not counting Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction, because those are his masterpieces. There's no movie that he can do that'll come close to touching those. Get real, they're masterpieces, but this is as close as you'll get to another masterpiece. Leonardo DiCaprio was great. He got snubbed big time at the Oscars. Christoph Waltz was great. Jamie Foxx was great. Samuel Jackson, better than he's ever been. He definitely made up for that abysmal movie. What's it called again? Snakes on a Plane? Yeah, he made up for that big time. Kerry Washington was great. Don Johnson. Everybody in this movie was great. The dialogue and the soundtrack are just out of this world. And there you have it. That's my top 10 list. Now, I have 5 honorable mentions, and I'm not going to get that much into detail with them as I did with the other ones. These are movies that were great, but they just couldn't make it onto the list. And, you know, at number 5, I have Sound of My Voice, which is a great movie starring Britt Marling. She came out in Another Earth. That's another movie you should check out. But Sound of My Voice was such a great movie. Check it out. It's an indie movie, so you might have trouble finding it. But if you find it, definitely watch it. At number 4, I have The Cabin in the Woods, which is the Drew Goddard directed, Joss Whedon written meta horror movie. And it's really funny, and it delivers some scares, and it's a very interesting, different type of horror movie. At number 3, I have the Indonesian film, The Raid Redemption. Hands down one of the best action movies I have seen in the last 10 years. Honestly, it's just hardcore hand-to-hand martial arts combat, and it's great. Check it out. At number 2, I have the Mark Duplass and Jay Duplass directed Jeff Who Lives at Home, a very underrated movie, unfortunately, and it was great. It was a good movie. And coming in at number 1, I have Holy Motors, which is a foreign film, which you might have trouble finding also, but this is definitely a movie that I think should have been nominated for Best Foreign Film at the Academy Awards. And there you have it. I have my top 10 and my 5 honorable mentions. Be sure to subscribe right there above me, right there. Like the video, tell your friends, tell your grandmother, tell your aunt, tell everybody you don't even know. Just run out to the street and be like, hey, have you seen this guy's channel? Check it out. Subscribe.